Welcome everyone to the LinkedIn Power Lab webinar. Today is Monday, the 3rd of August 2020, and I would like to welcome 20 plus people who all would like to learn more about LinkedIn. The topic for today is create converting content with LinkedIn. And in terms of the housekeeping rules, what I would like to do is, if ever possible, that I will mute all of us from a central point of view, because then we have the chance also that we can listen. If in the meantime some would want to speak, they can do this by simply unmuting themselves. Otherwise, it would be a little bit better if we are all in a muted state. So we just do that. I will mute everyone, and you please then unmute on the bottom on the left-hand side. Many of you know how to operate links. Also, I see now Leo. Hi, brother.
Hi, Gunnar. How are you?
Hey, Stacy as well. So that's nice. Let's go. So everyone will be now muted except myself, and I hope that you can still hear me. Of course, we cannot confirm this, but what I would like to do also to utilize the chat, because that would be a good way how we can communicate a little bit, because I have a range of questions which I can ask into the audience. Good, so let's get started. For those who are here for the first time and have never had a LinkedIn Power Lab webinar with myself, so my name is Gunnar, not Gunnar actually, but Gunnar. It's a Swedish name, and in most countries where I've been living, I'd always had to explain that. I'm happy also that we have guests now today from very far away, like Ronnie from Switzerland, so that's lovely. So then myself, what I'm doing, I'm a social media consultant. I also created 2 online courses, and I write and blog about social selling, which is how to use digital tools and social media to advance business conversations. And I'm also a book author, and as such, I also share reviews of books from others, which is one part of my content strategy. And here we have the latest book that I've been sharing, and that is with Mark McInnes, an expert on social selling. That review will come out recently. So please use the chat room when we can write something, because I have a range of questions that I might ask, and it's better instead of just writing. So then let's go. What I prepared for today is create converting content. Those who know me a little better, they know my passion for the number 3 and 3 times a similar letter. You will see this throughout the presentation. For whatever reason, I often found some that make sense. So first of all, if you tackle the topic, what we would like to do here is, first of all, consider what actually means convert, because it's as different as for everyone. What do we would like to achieve? The second topic is the content itself. How can we make it in a way that it's possible to convert? How can we create the magic? And the third one is, how do we entice next steps? Because that is something that is an important topic as well, because only then we can properly convert. And that is for me a very important one, so that we can finally have something from that. So 3 topics, and overall, typically I run the sessions about 45 minutes. A lot of content from my side. If you have anything to share, please do so. Content and conversion are topics which are mostly overwhelming the majority of professionals on LinkedIn, despite its 690 million plus people on it. So let's tackle this topic. First of all, consider. Consider the question of the strategy, so that we know what we would like to achieve. And in my view, there are 3 topical things, but maybe I ask you, what do you would like to achieve by yourself by being active on LinkedIn? And I asked some of you already in my new Facebook group yesterday as well. So some already answered, like Ronnie, but some others, what do you like to do to be active on LinkedIn? Anything you would like to achieve? There can be a range of topics. I mean, Scott mentioned that he just started his new role and he couldn't go to San Francisco. So surely LinkedIn might help him to achieve at least his onboarding. And Ronnie also mentioned that he would like to launch a program which has reached up to Australia. So if anyone has anything else, please type it into the chat room. And I figured out maybe the 3 most important ones what I've seen so far are these ones. Let me get through them. First of all, the typical goals. Career. That's how LinkedIn started, what we all think and know about it. Be found for the next job move. So that's an obvious one. The next one, credibility. if we are not selling, but we really would like to get our personal brand out, then conversion means exactly this, using content for that. And the next one would be connection. And here we're coming on the sales arena, expanding the network in order to turn a lead into closed business. 3 times the C. What a surprise. You see also the 80-20 rule over here, but of course we would like to convert more than just the 20%. But what does it mean? Content on the left-hand side converts chances. In the middle, content converts communication. And on the right-hand side, you can guess there will be another 3 times C. Content converts conversations. And that is what it's all about. LinkedIn can help us more than any other professional platform to get into this topic. And Ronnie, you are maybe the only one here at the call who also knows Xing, which is the German equivalent of LinkedIn, actually older. I became a member of Xing in 2003, shortly after LinkedIn has been created. And they're not that good in terms of content, but they started much earlier in terms of events, for example. So some other ones here wrote, advisory status via expert association. That's good. That goes into the credibility part. Or building business connections, Eileen. Well done. That makes sense. And building trust and offer service to others. Yes, Annette. And you do this actually quite well, whatever I studied out of your blog. So everyone has a little bit of different objective, what we would like to achieve on the platform. But we all talk about content. And there's this saying that content is king, but I disagree. In my view, content is not king. There's something higher. For me, content is prince, but context is king. It makes no sense if I write about all my services, about how LinkedIn can help. And I would pitch this to a person who is actually a LinkedIn trainer. They would know it. Or if somebody is a life coach and he's pitching to a corporate employee who's not even open to anything like this, it wouldn't make sense at all. So there are certain ways that you would write it in a way that is suitable for your audience. Only then it makes sense. And there's another one who said also, I'm active these days on LinkedIn to find a job after losing it due to COVID shutdowns. And yes, this is unfortunate, of course, another reason why LinkedIn has now higher activities. And also what I've seen that many job postings have now a higher range of a higher number of applicants, logically. But in particular there, when you're just one of, I've seen recently a job ad from LinkedIn, just actually before they declared also that they will reduce some jobs worldwide, and there were 700 people on that. So applicants, so how to stand out? Content helps, content really helps. So let's look into content. That's an interesting topic because it all depends. For me, LinkedIn is a newspaper and I'm the editor for my LinkedIn. And everyone here is our own editor. So that's a good thing. Hi, Priya. Nice to see you there as well. The only thing is when it comes to content, many don't really know what to post. And often they just write about themselves. That's what I have. That's my service. That's my product. A key example, I went to an event of the New South Wales Business Chamber. I met one company, they're selling printers. Yes, many need to print. But they always posted on LinkedIn about the latest model of HP or what have you, and how many pages it can print and so on. But I think it's not about the product, maybe more about the outcome. Somebody has a problem that needs to be solved. The printer itself might be just the way in order to achieve this. But the outcome is what counts. That's the bad thing, that many people don't get that. So then they're posting too much or not enough, or they post it outside of the interest of their network. I always call it tribe. So then what is the solution? In my view, my suggestion, content should be 80% educational and 20% can be about your services. And then not the product, but more, what would customers do with that? So then here one, and then Stacy, you are also a content expert. You say, I hate it when people say to me on LinkedIn. Yes, that's true. Same here. We would like to buy, but we hate to be sold to. That, of course, is the obvious thing. And sometimes when we offer something in a context that's well, then it will be seen in a good or negative sense. It doesn't matter, but it will be visible. Here you can see that was the only time, someone last year in November, when I wrote that I actually have even a course about social selling, an online course. But at least if you put out this educational part, you can build yourself a personal brand out of being an educator, somebody who is learning, who is sharing the wisdom. And that's interesting because if I take as an example, Ronnie, I know you 21 years, which is nearly half of my life. At that time, there was no LinkedIn. But I think you might remember I tried to share also what I learned about the technology, only I didn't have LinkedIn. But my reach was limited, maybe around Zurich and a bit more around that. But that's it. So now it goes worldwide. That's the beauty on it. So we can really target it with our content, adding our expertise on it, and then to collaborate with some people, with our clients or prospective clients. So we can pay attention what type of material we need to use. So, because content leads to conversations. This means for me there are 3 steps what we can do in terms of content. First of all, we can comment. And it's good to see that also Frank is here in the call, because Frank, what I learned also from you, you are a master in commenting. For me, the comments on LinkedIn is like the salt in the soup. It wouldn't taste when it's just only liquid. It's much better that way. So there's plenty of points on this one. And you can see in this example, Frank started on a post that I wrote. I, of course, then answered as well, appreciation also about what he wrote. Then you continued, and then the next one, Wayne, started to talk about that, and that's what I really like, that it really goes on and on and on. So that's a good one. So then, going further, the next one would be curation. When we curate content, so that means also that we can take something from someone else, what they are doing, and share this further. And for those of you who have seen my post from today, I actually wrote about this topic because it's a little bit a tricky one. If we share material from others, it's nice, but it can have the disadvantage that nobody sees it if we don't give a reason why this is a relevant one. And the next one is creating our own material. And if you look back on LinkedIn all over those years, LinkedIn was mostly used by corporate people, active by corporate salespeople. They would not necessarily post and write their own material. But since 3-4 years, since then, we have about a lot of, let's say, life coaches, healers, professionals in the area of yoga, all those who do something good. And we have plenty of those in our call here, particularly small businesses. You are writing, you are sharing ideas, you do something for the greater good and for your clients. That is where the small businesses can make such a difference compared to the typical content that corporations would have. But that is creating their own material. So what do you think, again into the chat, what is the preferred content format for experienced LinkedIn users, those who are really active? Is it more video? Is it more text, text with images, or whatever you think, what is engaging a lot? Curious about your feedback. So let's see if anyone is writing anything about that. That would be interesting. Posts are seen wider, I mean, yes, with text with image. So, in my view, I'm a big fan of using text and image, but we have done a poll. And this poll came recently. Short articles sharing information, Leo? Yes, because you can learn from that. That's good. So, Sue Parker, she's a LinkedIn expert from Melbourne. She has done one of the first polls on LinkedIn, 510 votes, quite decent amount, and the majority were text posts. She included images, she didn't differentiate between this. And when I asked her, she has done some qualitative follow-up, she mentioned that text and images is more, but then you can see that even articles, long forward articles, still count. That's good. And videos, by surprise, is not that strong as many people thought it could have been. So, but then getting it further, what type of content formats we actually have? When I just see what I see on the chat here. Yeah, some people post so many videos, I don't want to see them anymore. See it anymore or see them anymore, doesn't matter. I agree. There was an oversaturation, in particular when it comes to video, and that is not necessarily a good thing. So therefore, I'm myself happy that we don't have too many of videos. but there is more text and images. So for me, there are 6 content formats that we might look at. By surprise, on the poll, articles were so high. But in my view, all of these articles for me means that they are good for positioning yourself as a thought leader, like that. So that's a good one. But who has the time to write an article of 1,000, 2,000 words? Not that many people. Not that many. But it's good to have credibilities. When we take, for example, experts on content, like Stacy. So you might want to have a couple of articles where you can showcase, in particular, of course, your writing capabilities, that people can see this before contacting you. Thought leadership. I've done only, I think, 9 or 10 of them, but I liked it because I also like to write and I like a blogger. So then the next one is a traditional post. The post, 1,300 characters, 200 words roughly, that can have pictures, can go without. Interesting enough, quite disruptive these days when you post just some thoughts, questions, no images, nothing, just as naked as possible to get some kind of statements out. People with a large following often do this, sometimes even just for their own research, that then can convert a lot. So as an example, there's one of the most famous, let's say, sales book authors in Australia, Tony Hughes. He has a fantastic book called The Joshua Principle. And when he wrote his new book, or in the meantime, already 2 years ago, about the combo sales method, then what he has done, he posted a lot of questions and he had a huge following, in the meantime, 300,000 plus. So then he got a lot of engagement from this. And he used this for further research of his book. Nice way to handle this. So it's good when you have a following to get content out just by short statements and make it enticing, not a big block of text. A lot of free lines. Get people into this storytelling type of format. That's good. Put cliffhangers in that they really would like to continue reading and then ask a question that then they are happy to comment. They cannot do anything else than just comment what they think. So that's the way how text posts are going very well these days. The next one is video, and that came about 2007, 8. You always could have done video on LinkedIn in terms of a link into YouTube, but the native video that you upload them became a huge hit. And what I didn't like, that people have been overdoing this, everything, where they go, what they eat, what they drink, when they go to the hairdresser. I mean, who cares on a professional side? Or even worse, those people who make a video in a car. Because normally it shows me they do it in between. So as a member of their audience, I'm not worth enough that they take at least that I sit down somewhere, put a camera on, put a tripod on to make that better. So that for me, it sounds like not so nice. And even worse when they're then driving by this, running the videos. It's not so special. Also, before COVID times, about 85% of people would run videos without sound. Because if you sit in an office, you have LinkedIn on maybe as part of your desktop application that you're using, but not necessarily with sound. So you need to have headsets in, what people maybe not do. So then captions are needed. So here in this example, I added captions. I took them from rev.com, costs $1.25 US overall per minute, which is not that much. If you have never done this, there is a way how you get 10 minutes for free. Maybe once you have done all of them, you can take another email address. But at least you can upload the captions and it goes very smooth. It's a good approach because people can then see the message, read the message in there while following, and then decide if it makes sense to put on the sound. But even when you only put a video and expect the audience to watch 2 minutes, and they're scrolling in the feed, they see there's a video. If there would be no post transporting this, then there would be no reason to watch the video. Some are doing this very well. So then when I see what, Aline, when you post something about your much better posture than I have about how you help people on the health topic, and the way how you write, there's only one consequence. People want to watch the videos. Well done, like that. These are the most used formats: article, post, and video. Videos should have a post in itself, and it should have captions if you want people to read it actually. And the post itself can have just text. And when the post has images, there's a learning what I've had as well over the years. If you use mostly graphic images like cartoon style or anything painted, that has less visibility compared to pictures with real people. And even in the middle, you might have just something like stock pictures, like from unsplash.com or pexels.com. It's fine, but they need to be a good one. What works best are images with real people in normal life scenario, maybe not best makeup, that shows something what people can associate with. That helps the algorithm to get it further. Because at the end, we're not just posting for posting. We would like to convert. We would like to do something with that. So that's what really counts on that. So these are the typical content formats, and there are 3 more. And the question, did you try any of them? The first one is documents. I used this, for example, last year. I attended a meetup event with Andrew Akratos, my publisher for my next book, and I helped them to talk about how social media can help authors. And I thought, while I presented some slides like today, but it was face-to-face, I thought I share this in a post afterwards. And that was huge engagement, 8,000 plus views, which for me is a lot. So that is highly engaging whenever you see someone who has documents. They need to work well, not too small. It should work that you can see it on a mobile phone, but then it can be very engaging because LinkedIn likes this. LinkedIn spreads this much further because this is content that stays on the platform. That does not go away like into your blog where you might have the same material. Therefore, LinkedIn loves that. So ideally, make it as PDF, upload this, and off you go. That's a good one. That came about maybe 1.5 years ago, 2 years ago. And the next one, that's a new one. That's a poll, the one that we had. A poll normally takes 1 week. So if somebody puts on a poll today, and I had one in my ecosystem, she put out a post in the morning. What's interesting to see, then for her, I asked her to then please do a follow-up that we can know what's going on. Just Annabelle, as you asked, is it important to have a picture with text for all posts? Just text can be suitable, as I mentioned, but need to be written very well, because normally the image is what gets attention. In particular, when the image is done very well. When the image shows something that people want to see, then they stop and then they press on these 2 words, see more, that they read the rest of the post. If you have just text, the image is not there. So then these first 3 lines need to be so good that it goes on. And there are some people who are real expert in posting purely text. So Tim Denning from Melbourne, a blogger, he's one good example. He doesn't need pictures. He can blog straight away out of this one. But he's blogging on Medium every day, very heavily blogger. So then the next one here, the next topic, and that's new. These are the LinkedIn stories. What we know from Facebook, what we know from Instagram, both the same company. LinkedIn launched just now. And Ronnie, not sure if in Switzerland you have it already, but we are one of the 5 test markets. I think Brazil was actually the first one. And US comes after us. So then the stories came around May timeframe, quite similar to Facebook and Instagram, and they are, there's a little bit of a typo there, 20 seconds long, but 24 hours visible, and then it's gone. It's for the short fame. And there was another comment from Scott. Travel photos always work for attention. We cannot fly anymore, which is a shame. I know that. Glad that I had the pleasure to travel so much over the years, so I can always use them, as long as they're in context, of course. You can try stories. I'm looking forward how that will go after the first hype that happened over the last couple of weeks, how this will go in a continuation mode. Because some people are overdoing the stories. And actually, you put one story on, it's a little bit different than Instagram optically, but the principle is the same. So there are all these ideas about content. You need to find out in your strategy, the objectives you have, what you would like to achieve, the type of formats that can work, text only, text with image, video occasionally might be good, and then the other newer formats. Why do we want to share so much? Let me give an example, because I know that, for example, Frank, you are also a member at BNI, and in your chapter, you surely know a good business coach. Imagine I need one. And I would ask Frank, please, who would be a good business coach in your chapter? You will name me one. But then I will also ask some others in my network. I would ask maybe Bria. Bria, you also have been in a BNI chapter. Surely in everyone there is a good coach who you recommend. And she also gives me a name of some. Would I call both? No. Will I spend an hour with each of them face to face to find out if they're the right one? No. I look up their services on the website, might be similar, but I want to see how it is to work with them. And LinkedIn helps us in particular videos. They are basically emulating a discussion or like a webinar like today. I hope you find out that I have a certain passion for LinkedIn. So, but when we have this content and we put out a strategy where we say, this is what we would like to post, and that includes job seekers as well. Because if you would like to find a role in, my former company, Noggin, is in the area of risk management. And if a salesperson shares from time to time something about the topic, and there's a new sales role open, which I've seen recently, so then of course, it is somehow preferred if someone is not only good as a salesperson in terms of results, but also has a certain expertise in that segment, which has maybe people who are responding, engaging with that content. Therefore, that helps. So there is basically no other consequence than to invite that person. That's how I also got my current job in social media, because I'm doing exactly that. So let's look, how can we convert? And what do we need to do to convert? And that are basically, as you can guess, 3 topics, all starting with the same letter. The first of all, I mean, we need to have discipline, obviously, but the first is focus. And that is very important topic. If we don't have proper focus in our activities here, then it will never fly. So that is truly needed. And Ronnie, you can maybe not guess, so that it looks like it could be in Switzerland, but it's not. It's in Austria. It's in Salzkammergut, but looks like Swiss mountains as well. So no distraction from the feed. If we would like to be successful on LinkedIn, we need to have a clear focus to do our task. What is our daily work on it? Connect with people, think about, put out some content and convert that. Instead of a Facebook activity of being every day in our feed and then another hour is gone and we make our tea and then we continue reading. It's nice, but that doesn't turn the needle. So the other one, second one, is follow up. Because if we post that, if it's there, it's nice, but if you don't do anything with it, then the chance is gone. And that makes no sense. I had the case after an event last year in March in Brisbane, where we presented risk management, and there was one consultant, second-grade connection, never met him beforehand. And that gentleman wrote me in a comment out of a post covering the event. He wrote there, Gunnar, please, can your Queensland sales rep call me? We have a client where your solution works. He could have texted me, he could have sent an email, but he put it there because in that moment, he had the feeling the content just resonates well. He might have also thought about, he would like to show with his company that they have lots of clients and it's good, but it doesn't matter. We converted that lead, that's what counts. So typically 24 hours later to respond. If you, for example, would post great content in the morning on a Monday from 7:30 to 8:30, then the best way to do this, let's say it's extended to 25 hours, is after this webinar that you finally follow up. So then out of the call, for example, here I know Shanley, you posted something very, very nice about how people should dress, also even in the home office. So you would, logically, you got some kind of comments on it, and you will then follow up latest today. At least like it, put a comment on, and then maybe you can get and turn it into a conversation. Connect and engage with those people. That's a follow-up. So we can be focused, we can do the follow-up to convert accordingly, but to be honest, we also need a little bit of a good luck. As an example, I wrote about a sales book, my first ever book review. It was so nice to see someone from a company connecting with me on it. And finally, then I went there working there, which is knocking. That came out of this one. There was a piece of luck. There was fortune there. I couldn't pull these to the market to say, I post because I want a job now. So there was a bit of a fortune. The only question, can we use fortune as our strategy? Maybe not. Let's replace it. Let's take another word with F, maybe fulfill. I think that sounds better. At the end, what we would like to achieve is we turn our prospective clients from their pain. I should change it. I wanted to say help them from pain to gain. Sorry for that. From pain to gain, because that's all what all matters. You have two ways what you can do. If you go to the dentist, you have the pain, and at least you get back to state normal. On the other side, when you're feeling normal, but you would like to work on your personal brand, how it can look better, how you can do something that express more what you do, then you go to Shanley and you help and you get them from a normal state and you give them the gain of a better branding when it comes to also the way how they look and feel in that moment. So that's what you are doing. So then some help on the pain, some help towards the gain, but overall it's this journey, this transformation that counts, and we need to fulfill on our promise. And that's what we can do. And that is where the conversion takes place. That means, thinking back, we had 3 topics. We had particularly those working in career. So there it's exactly the same. You don't put on LinkedIn how many dollars you have made or something like this. You rather share the stories, how you helped your organization to win more business, how you maybe saved something when you are in procurement, what type of projects you helped to achieve or to complete, maybe under budget and in shorter time, and how you brought the culture forward. These are the topics that you will put in a career point of view to show this from A to B. What's your conclusion on it? Same for those who go for credibility to show their expertise, and in particular those who use conversion in a sense of helping people to do something with that. So these for me are very important topics that we know what it actually means, and apologize for the little typo. That's funny. Help them from pain to gain. So that's fulfillment. That is what's all about. Understand the problems of your audience. If you describe the audience well, if you have a network, maybe not of thousands of every people, but maybe just half of this, but very targeted, those that you can really help, that makes a lot of sense. So that's important. You can fulfill, you can understand their problems. So next one, follow up is such an important thing. And many of us are not perfect in that because it's also a question of time and focus. So, but take an example. You posted something good. You got response, but after you posted, your mindset is completely somewhere else. So like this in the morning, I posted from around maybe 8:30, then I went into my sales meeting, then I called my customers, then I called my partners up till 6 p.m. So then, and just when I've done the screenshot, it looks like there are some comments on it, which is fine. But if I don't do a follow-up, no regular checkpoint in it, it makes no sense. So I really need to do this. So I think from a mindset point of view, I work on LinkedIn maybe 30 minutes a day to 45. Half in the morning, half in the evening. When we have been traveling to work, was a bit more easy. Maybe Ronnie, not for you if you're driving, because in Switzerland you can more drive. But here in large cities like we have in Sydney, Melbourne, you would take the public transport, there you can. So then I would comment on the post. You can see here the example, not that the words are so obvious, but you see always somebody wrote something, and then you can see even either that I've been responding to it or even others put a dialogue on it. Tom commented on my post, then Heidi, and then Tom again. And then I should do something. I should answer on this one, like I've done on the other screen. Danica wrote something, I commented. Uri wrote something, I commented. Not that we have to have the last word, but it's good to find something out of this. And if somebody comes on the idea to say, Gunnar, that's actually good, or whoever makes a good comment, make a screenshot. Check this. There are great statements. you can really use this. For example, I wrote actually about how you write, how you take material that is from somewhere else, and you have some nice lines about it to make it magic. And then someone in between, Tom, um, he wrote, nice thing, no hook, no look. I love that. He's a great texter, a wordsmith. So then he came on this one. So that's lovely. Really, really well done. So then take a screenshot, learn from this, not just respond, but also take something with that. So that's a good one. And also commenting yourself on the comments that somebody's done on your post helps to also show you that you are responsive, that you're active. And it helps to increase engagement while it's fresh. If you go back to a post you have done 3 months ago, who remembers that? Long time ago. I hope you remember those posts because it can work for testimonials. So getting it further, give us game with content. If you create a nice content for target audience, some people don't see it. So here was one which was only shared, only got 79 views, not that much, not that many, wrong timing. And Ronnie, having you in the line, you can see who posted it, Markus Mark, who once 21 years ago took me to Switzerland for HP, our former colleague back then. World is small. Still meet him every day on LinkedIn. But the point is, how can we show what we are doing for our target audience when we don't get it into their view, into their right moment when they're on the platform? Because if people are only on LinkedIn utilizing the feed, they might not see this. I go more into the notification areas. There's exactly targeted what I'm doing and what's relevant for me, but the feed I can go as well. But not everyone does it in the same way. And like every communication, the sender needs to first pay attention to the reader. Same kind of game. If I'm posting at a time when my audience is not there, it makes no sense. They will not see it. I've done the test. I posted a book review on Thursday just before going to bed in the hope that on Friday morning people have it. But so much else came into the feed. Nobody sees this. Makes no sense. Makes no sense. When we get further, what's the solution? Use the email or the LinkedIn messaging, what would be the longer word for this, and send post directly to someone. So here's an example how Lloyd Bromfield, back then a partner who I signed with Noggin, he then, after our call and signature, he went to Israel for a couple of days, met with technology vendors, and then he found something that is good. He could have tagged me into that initial post, but maybe he didn't want to declare this to the world that that himself, me, and those people somehow do business together, whatever reason. So then he simply copied the link of that post, shared it with me in a messaging. Hey, this is relevant to you. That was awesome. Great way. And how can you do this? On every post of LinkedIn, like on the example on the left-hand side, you can see there that there are the 3 little dots, which of course 3 dots always means there is more to do. When you do this, click on it, and then there is somewhere copy the link to that post. And then you can use it. Do something, provide perceived value, not to pitch, but at least to have a conversation going on. And that makes sense. Then I can say, hey, Annette, have a look. Here's a nice post I found which is relevant for you because from the mindset of your audience, it would fit. It's from a gentleman called Ronnie. And then I don't want to maybe connect both of you directly together yet. But then you might find out, hey, hang on, that's interesting. We're on the same wavelengths. Can you connect me? Then happy to do this. But now I have both of you in the call, also works. So how else can we talk? And that's a funny one. Normally, many people are using just text, but we need to communicate through the notes. And that helps to convert even further. Because when I learned one thing in sales for all over the 24 years in corporate life, you don't focus on just one channel. So that's what the combo prospecting is about. Sometimes you use LinkedIn, then you use an email, then you use voicemail and simply call, then you send a text message. And you need to know, particularly those in sales, what is the right cadence, when to choose what. Depends, of course, what they use. So for example, here in Asia Pacific, I utilize WhatsApp a lot with my partners who are then in Singapore and Japan. I could use WeChat if I want to China. So you need to really know what the audience is using, because we all have full email inboxes. And it's even easy to overlook a message in LinkedIn. So here are some as an example, which I have here, where I had a dialogue with Alex from AMD. And unfortunately, LinkedIn doesn't have a suitable inbox. I can only mark something read or unread. That's it. I cannot say in any way that there is some content or some emails where I make a kind of follow-up tick or put it in folders. Doesn't work, which is sad, but as it is. So what can I do? I can use voice or video. First of all, when we take voice, you see this little bar on the right-hand side, which is the bottom for my iPhone. There I can press on the microphone and I can leave a voice message. As you can see here below my name in blue, then you see a couple of minutes. It's limited to 60 seconds. If you would like to leave a longer message, you need to always start it again. I know WhatsApp does this better, but here it is limited, maybe due to the data, because it's running on Microsoft servers. But you can also put beyond the voicemails with the microphone, you can also run video messages. You only need to press on the little plus sign in the app on the bottom left, and then 8 other icons are coming there. And one of them is the video. And then it looks in the inbox of the LinkedIn, it looks like there is a person who wants to speak. Looks weird with the play button, but then you see even the length, and then yes, you click on it, and then you can see about the person, what they want to tell you in video. It's more engaging than just writing. The only thing is when you see there is 5 videos of each 1 minute, then you know, you need to take some time. So if I would leave a message of 5 minutes to someone with something urgent or whatever way I want them to see it soon, I would start with a little line of post. Hey, here's something I would like to share with you. Please listen to this carefully. And then I put it on. Then the person reads, I have to listen. We need to earn the permission for that. And then we can disrupt the inboxes, and then we can get our point across in a very sticky way and show us as a person, despite sometimes the light is not so good like what you see in that picture. So any question for you in terms of converting? Anything what you would like to add and comment about this? Let's see what type of questions we got before we go into next steps. Stacy asks, how many times per week do you suggest to post, and how many articles per month do you suggest writing? It depends what type of content is, of course, but in my view, I'm posting maybe twice per day, and 3 times per week I write my own, so not shared from something else, but really my own fully written 200 words type of format. But it depends. At least I think overall posting once per day, 5 per week in whatever rhythm might be a good one. The articles, the long form articles per month, if you are starting up, it would be good to have 2 or 3 or 4 sitting there about the different type of topics. So Leo, for example, if I take you and you are in the tax business and we have tax season now, you might want to have 1 or 2 articles for that topic because it's now this season. You would maybe have done one in June before and then these days. So that's good. And then you do something maybe later with other topics. Timing also is important one. So the best time of day to post, Jenny, you ask. Yeah, first thing in the morning, as you've done it today in the morning. Particularly since we are all, not all, since many of us are working from home, 7:30 to 8:30 is a good timing, where people have a bit more flexibility, despite not being on a commute to work. That actually goes now better than in the afternoon, which in the past was good. But if now people are working from home and you have the kids around of homeschooling and you have your partner also working there, then after a while you have enough. So then you can better switch off. So then the morning is in the meantime better. Also, Bell asks, hear more about the tips to connect in a personal post with new people you have connected. So calling the new people. Yeah, you can of course straight call someone. I mean, leave a voice message on it, but then you see, first time saw that person, already 2 blocks of 1 minute, and no reason. Why should I listen to that? Is it spam? Who is that? Why he or she wants something from me? We need to earn this. And the best way, as we can faster read than listen, is to just say something like, nice that we met at Gunnar's webinar. Would be nice to talk about something. Then next day, ladies, then you can maybe then add a voice message and say, hey, I saw your post about this one. Let me get you my thoughts. And then the thoughts you are speaking on it. So combine it. So that makes sense. It's possible. So what else do we have? Other question that I have there. There was one question about the video that I had. We need to pay attention on when we speak on video about the background noise. That indeed is. So in this picture that I've been at Circular Quay when we still had cruise ships over there, it has been windy. And it looks like you can even see this on the picture. That was a funny one. So next steps, how can I help you? Because I talked a lot about it, what is possible. But of course, if you only take bits and pieces from this, how to combine it all together and do this, it takes a while to get it into your habits. Let me take this as the plural of habit and actually also as part of my name. So how I can help beyond this webinar today, and I have 10 others which are on my website, linkedinpowerlab.com, where you can see the slides and watch the re-recording. What I'm doing and helping, particularly those in small businesses who don't have a corporate marketing department to help them with all the content. I can help to first find out some kind of discovery call, find out what you need. Can be call, can be in a good Indian restaurant in Kiribati, Frank, when we met 2 weeks ago, whatever that can be scheduled here as well, because I would like to learn. Not just that I also say you need to do this and that. For the first time, it's more learning. Find out what type of profile ideas we have there. And then the other thing where I also helped some of you on the call is to find out how can we bring your LinkedIn profile towards the next level, typically from the CV style into the storytelling format, more about the outcome. And that is some kind of advisory that I can do, or either this, where I help and say, you can do here, 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 or I can straight do this for you. That's a profile refresh service I'm doing. And that's now new, announced a little bit last month already, but now it's well on its way. That is my membership program, Organic LinkedIn Habits. It's organic because I strongly believe that over time, content can help a lot. I'm not a big fan of putting out a lot of advertising and me, buy me, like you see on Facebook, but rather the consistency, because we help others around us in a constant base. So therefore, it's organic. And it's all about LinkedIn, and habit as a plural, habits is plural from that. And it's funny word, funny play with my words. I mean, those who know that I published some books, I found by accident one of the book which was written on Amazon the wrong way, with a spelling mistake with an S, habits, and even was in Cyrillic in Russian. And then this book, then due to searching it with the different letter, I found the Russian translation of one of my books. And Olin, as you're on the call, you helped me back then to deliver this to me. So then what I'm doing, I have a membership program, which is new, where I can help with a couple of topics. And let me show you. So around LinkedIn for small businesses, which is has an online course there, which is ready and new. I call it also Organic LinkedIn course. Has 4 modules, has 12 lessons already there, and every month I adding some lessons and the resource cabinet. How does this tool work? Should we have LinkedIn Sales Navigator or not? Or how can I add another tool on that? How does it all come together? That's that part. And then accountability, because that is what we discussed also with some of you like Michael and like Frank, because you would like to ensure that the work gets done. You don't only want to listen to a course, but you would also like to put something in practice. So therefore, what I have here is a closed LinkedIn group, and we have direct email access between us. And also I offer a free initial strategy session of that program that we set the scene for the months to come. And as a third part is a coaching. So like this call that we have today, I also do one every third Monday, and that goes more concrete, where we tackle a problem like content, connection with all of those who are part of that group, and also a kind of a ask me anything. Q&A type of format, and the monthly content award as well. Because for my clients, I help them also to elevate their own post. It's a bit of a post critic, so that at the end, it's not just only an online course service, but not only an online course, but also a bit of a service, that it makes sense to get us further, to get us from current state into a better one. And the topics is always the same. The challenge, why we are there, how to connect properly with people, like the question that you had, Ben, about how you can get the messaging right, the content, commenting, creating, and also how we convert. These are the 12 lessons on it that are already there, and every month I'm adding topics there as well, how to do video, how to do the stories, and how to utilize even LinkedIn pages, for example. That's that part, and the cabinet with the resources. And this is everything what I basically wanted to share today. A lot of content for how to create converting content, and about my new membership program, which you will get a link to show interest or sign up or register when you get the slides by tomorrow, because that's what I all put together. And to many of you also, thanks for joining my new Facebook group, which is basically the open community, organic LinkedIn community. And thanks for the comments that I already seen over there. Yeah, so this was all what I wanted to share. And if there's anyone else who would like to add some kind of question, add some comments, I would be very much appreciated to hear more. Maybe I can try to unmute us, or you can unmute yourself if you'd like to add some kind of words. Anyone who wants to like to share something?
I might jump in, Gunnar, if that's okay.
Yes, please.
So I've been doing quite a lot across Facebook and Instagram. Would you suggest running similar content into LinkedIn as well as part of my content creation that I'm doing myself?
It all depends where your audience is at that moment. And I tell you, your audience is on LinkedIn, because there are those who are buying homes, and you have it for them. And you have this engaging way how you can create videos. It would be sad to have them only on Facebook. But of course, on LinkedIn, you can add some of other topics. I would say take 70% of your content that works also on LinkedIn, and some others you don't put there, but replace it with something else.
Okay, thank you.
So that's how that would work. But you can build your following over there, and I can share you some in your profession who are very active on LinkedIn and quite successful.
Okay, thank you very much. I'll put myself back on mute so I can listen to the rest of the questions.
And in particular also, I like that you do the videos, because you are one of the best speakers overall, and the best memorizer of a 4-minute speech I ever had the pleasure to listen to.
You're assuming that I'm writing the content before I hit record, mate. But thank you.
You are also a good one when you only speak in front of people what was not even from you. Well done.
No, thank you very much. If anyone would like to see what I'm talking about, my Facebook is Adrian Wall, LJ Hooker Penrith. You're all most welcome to go and check it out.
But I find my passport and I can see where you are. Joking. Well done, Adrian. Well done. Anyone else? Anything to share? Thanks for all of the words in the chat. Appreciate this from Frank, from John, from Priya as well, from Sig. Because Sig, you are also one of those in the real estate like Adrian, so you're in the same boat. That's good. Thanks, Olin as well, Jules as well, Stefano. Ciao, grazie mille for coming. Any further comment?
Gunnar, can I just ask you a question here?
Yes.
Okay, I think just now one of your attendants also asked this question. So my question is that, so when we share the PDF as a post, so how many should we share? Like if we have a presentation of maybe about say 5, slides, pages. So how much should we share as, as a post? Under
how many pages? Yeah, because the point is people will need to scroll through. So a typical set of numbers, and Adrian, you will now wonder what I say, could be 3, 5, or 7. 3 is too short, but 5 or 7 pages is good. Don't put 10, it's far too much. 5 maybe is a good number of slides, or 7.
So even the content that we share in there is also like as clean as possible, so not too heavy, like not too much of information in there.
Yes, but play with visuals. Use tools like Canva to produce them nicely. And one idea is to use them even in the square format. Surely not in portrait, that's too long. In my example, I only have taken PowerPoint for laziness, part of my slides, the essence of it. Not all 40, but just I had maybe 9 or 10, but 5 or 7 is a good number.
Okay, thank you.
Plenty of white space too.
Yes, yes, exactly. It needs to be a pleasure to see this, not a text from Franz Kafka.
Okay, so basically it's just like how we do our PowerPoint, basically. A lot of white space,
Yeah.
like, you know, very clear and simple wordings. Is that what you?
And there are some nice examples of content experts. So Stacy would be able to help on that one because she's also creating nice, beautifully nice arranged type of text with visuals.
Stacy, okay, okay.
Stacy Farrell, yeah.
Thank you.
Good. Any further comment? Actually, we are nearly close the hour, so that's quite nice. Thanks for comments also from Bell and from Joel, from Sig, from Tanya. Thanks for coming, Pratik as well. Good, Shanley as well. Enjoy that. So as I mentioned, I will put out the recording by tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. You'll receive it in your emails as long as you accepted my email confirmation subscription due to these to be compliant that I'm allowed to send you emails, then it would be there. Otherwise, it is on linkedinpowerlab.com, and I also put a link onto my Facebook group called Organic LinkedIn Community. So thank you all for joining, and I will also include then words in regards to the membership program, because I would really like the chance to take what I learned and to help, in particular those in small business around, like many of us are, to bring them further. So that's what makes sense. That's my passion. Thank you everyone for joining.
Thank you, Gunnar. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Gunnar. Thank you for your time and everything.
Gunnar.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye, everyone. Take care.
See you, everyone.
Bye.
See you, Eileen.
All the best,
Gunnar.
everyone.
Bye,
Brilliant,
Leo.
Gunnar. Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Danke, Gunnar.
Ja, massivement.
Thanks, Gunnar.
Bye.
Ciao.
Hopefully I'll see you soon in some different circumstances, Gunnar.
Yeah, Adrian.
Like it's not too far away now.
Let's have some drink.
Sounds
Not
very
too
good.
far away.
Very
We can
good.
meet in Concord, that's halfway in between.
I'll join.
Whatever suits, mate. Whatever suits. I'll be. I won't be doing a lot of visiting, but I will be coming out to say hello to everyone. I miss so many people.
Yeah, yeah, indeed. And Zoom is not everything. I know that. But
No, and I've been keeping our ones closed, so I've not been sending invitations to them. So,
yeah.
But
Okay.
thank you very much. I really, really, really enjoyed and
Thanks.
got a lot out of that. And I'll look forward to the next one. We'll be speaking soon on this.
Will do, Adrian. Thanks. And Ronnie, so nice to see you with the sunset over there.
Yeah.
There's no country with a better sunset like Australia. You know that.
Definitely.
That's a good one. Still have some in the call. I see Bell there as well. I see Sig is still there. Amrutha is there. Pete is there. Nice. Thanks all for coming, and I will share them further. And Ronnie, you remember my passion for lovely, nice notebooks back then.
Definitely.
So then you can see my passion change a little bit now back to software basically. But of course there are always some nice machines as well, but you don't see it that much. Yeah.
The same as I have.
Yeah, at least.
Okay.
At least. Good.
Good.
Yes. And one
Okay.
day would love to see you back here in Australia.
Oh, that will definitely happen. No
Yeah.
worries.
You're the only one in my network who even gave Australia, a part of Australia, namely Sydney, as part of the name of one of your daughters.
Yes.
You
it
gave me a
is.
hint already back then.
Yeah.
Come over. Anyway, grüß Lidi, hi. Mach's
Ja.
gut.
Ja, du auch. Danke. Tschüss. Bye.
Merci vielmals. Ciao zusammen.